If you enjoy the Filmmakers Podcast, please consider supporting us on Patreon.
The Podfix Network.
Hello and welcome to episode 287 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films to TV and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. I am Giles Alderson. I'm a writer, director and a producer. The film that I directed, The Stranger in Our Bed, is available right now on Showtime. It has just come out on Showtime and on Amazon Prime in the US. At the moment, only in the US. It will be available in the UK in September the 5th, I believe. The trailer has dropped. You can check that out if you should so fancy. Also, Followers, a film I produced, is out now on Blu-ray and DVD, and it's still available on Amazon, etc., etc. Enough about me. Today's episode, we have on the fantastic actor and exec producer, Jonathan Benefiel. He's the exec producer of The Trial of the Chicago 7, and he's the exec producer on John Leguizamo's doc Road to Broadway. He's a producer of I Might Be Famous, The Good Night, The Long Commute, and he's exec producer of As They Made Us. This is a fantastic film directed by Mayim Bialik, who you will know from Blossom if you are my age. You will know from Beaches if you're my mum's age, but you will definitely know her from The Big Bang Theory. This is a fantastic movie. As They Made Us, it stars Dustin Hoffman, Diana Agron, Simon Helberg, Candice Bergen, and Melanie Huber. It's the story of a divorced mum who tries to make peace with a dysfunctional family as she finds a second chance at love. It is available now. Links to it will be on the show notes. So, filmmakers, why is it important that you should learn the business of filmmaking? Why is it important that you shouldn't wait around for someone to make your film for you? And why you should make it yourself? These are all things that Jonathan Benefiel talks about in this week's episode. He also talks about how social media really helped him and how Trial of the Chicago 7 came about and why he invested. You're going to enjoy this one. Also, you might have noticed on Twitter at the moment, at FilmmakersPod, that we are giving away Roger Nygaard's fantastic book, Cut to the Monkey. It's a Hollywood editor's behind-the-scenes secrets to making hit comedies. He's a director, he's an editor. He has been on the podcast, episode 276. So literally, just over 10 episodes ago. Scroll back, listen to that one. It's fantastic. We are giving away his book, Cut to the Monkey. It's a signed copy as well. Go onto Twitter now, follow the instructions, and you could win that book. It's easy, simple. Shout outs this week go to Ben Parker, Bronson Payne, Faith Elizabeth. This was a couple of weeks ago. She was wearing one of our t-shirts, one of our merch, one of our Filmmakers Podcast t-shirts. The merch is available, by the way. A link to that is in the show notes. And she looked rather fantastic in it. Thank you, Faith. Other shout outs to Adam Murphy, Mark Coleman, and to Radi Nikolov. Not only has he done a blog for our filmmakerspodcast.com website all about how to make shorts on a shoestring and how he got his film Doubt Buys the Whiskey made. So go check that out, by the way. Link to that is in the show notes. It's brilliant. It's really useful for short filmmakers out there right now trying to get the shorts made on a shoestring. But also because he is our first guest for our mini-sodes. Yeah, that's right. We are doing Filmmakers Podcast mini-sodes where we're talking to short filmmakers, we're talking to behind-the-scenes people that aren't on our main episode. So we decided to do this. They are on our Patreon now and they are free. They are free. Link to that is patreon.com/The Filmmakers Podcast. Again, link to that is in the show notes. But do go listen afterwards. He talks more about how he made short films and how you can too, how you can get started in the business. There's going to be more and more of that. And again, it's going to be for free on our Patreon. I cannot stress that enough. Also, there's ad-free episodes as well. Also, there's so much bonus content as well. All the stuff that we take out of the episodes, plus some really cool stuff that we don't put in the episodes. And in fact, fact, sometimes I said Toby, that stuff's so good it should go in the main episode. Naughty Toby. But I don't really. But because we want you to go there. We want you to support this show in any way you can. And if you do like this, please go onto iTunes and rate and review. It means a lot to us, but it helps other people find the show as well. But most importantly, tell your friends and retweet us on Twitter and Instagram and pass the love of this podcast around, because that's how it grows. That's how more people learn. And I wish I had this when I was starting out. So I hope you learn from this. I hope you benefit from this. I hope and imagine that you learn from this and benefit from this, because you all listen in your droves week in, week out, which is why I keep doing it, because I'm a busy boy. Got stuff going on, a lot of stuff. We are literally, I keep saying this, but this is true now. We are delivering, which I produced with Lucinda Rose Takra and Jack Spring directed it. We are delivering that next week. Exciting times. We're talking about release dates and everything. Yeah, exciting. Right, let's get to it. This is our Filmmakers Podcast episode with the rather lovely Jonathan Benefiel. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I am all right. Thank you for spending time with us, man. That's really cool.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you, man. It's exciting. You know, your whole career is kind of cool. You know, the whole coming through the acting, sort of disappearing for a little bit, doing other things, then coming back into it. You know, because that's always hard. People always think, how am I going to do that? How am I going to go away from this and then come back? And
absolutely,
if I do, is at the end, how's anyone going to, you know, respond to me again? People hang in there. And it can be difficult. But I think that's fascinating, because that's what you did. And then, you know, now you've come back on this huge journey straight in. I think that's really great. Tell us about your journey to get to that point where you stepped away for a bit and then you thought, you know what, I'm going to make a short. What happened before that?
Well, I started as an actor, of course, like you had mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I had moved to Los Angeles because my agent that was representing me in New York decided to open his own agency in LA. Mm-hmm. And he was basically like, hey, man, if you ever want to come on out here, I'd be happy to represent you out here. And I said, sure thing, man. I packed up my Honda Civic and loaded it up and drove across country. And, you know, and the thing is, you know, I bought a condo. I had a lot of responsibilities that I didn't have when I was, you know, kind of living at home. Mm-hmm. And with those responsibilities, I wasn't as available as I could have been. And I was getting frustrated that I wasn't getting the auditions, which is what every actor goes through. Right. I think the thing that actors sort of believe is that the agent is going to do everything for them. Sure. That the manager is going to do everything for them. And so they sort of hang around waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for that next audition. And it just wasn't happening for me. And so, you know, I met my wife, or the girl that became my wife. Yes, congrats. And met her in LA. And yeah, it was great. And I just figured, you know what, I'm going to take a break from all this. I'm going to focus on my marriage. I'm going to, you know, she had 3 daughters from previous marriage. So I figured I'm going to just become the family man for a while. And I sort of hung out in that space. And then I started to miss acting. And what I realized is that, you know, when you take the attitude, and I always equate it to the restaurant business, right? You know, you could either be a waiter and focus on just that, which is what a lot of actors tend to do. Mm-hmm. But then everything is at the behest of, will the manager like you? Will they hire you? Will the chef like you? Will the owner like you? You have to go through this whole process, kind of like actors. Yeah. But what I started to realize is that if I could learn more about my business, mm-hmm. and look at myself as sort of like being in the entertainment business rather than just focusing narrowly on acting, that would open up more opportunities for me in every which way, whether it be acting or what have you. So I started to try and learn more, as much as I can, about the business. And that's what got me into saying, like, okay, let me create my own work. Let me start by doing a short film. I had a buddy of mine, Eric Seltzer, another actor. We've known each other forever, 40 years, whatever. And he was like, he's always wanted to play Lenny in Of Mice and Men. Perfect. And so, and if you look at this guy, I mean, he looks like Lenny. Oh, does he? Oh yeah. Big dude, like a Luca Brasi type of guy. Uh-huh. And so I said, hey man, you know, why don't we do something with that? Let's do a short film, loosely based on Of Mice and Men. You get to play the Lenny character. I get to play the guy who's the brother that's always kind of looked out for you. And we set it to this mafia backdrop. And so I got together with a team of people that I had worked with prior, and we just did it. And the film went on to win 32 awards at festivals and 5 nominations. We got a whole bunch of acting awards. So that was the beginning of it. And putting together that film is what really got me interested in producing more stuff.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, man, this seems to be the ticket. Creating your own opportunity is key. Don't wait around for other people to give you an opportunity. You have to sort of set the table for your next opportunity. And that's kind of what I did going forward.
It's so important to do that. And it's something we say on the podcast all the time. Don't wait for people to maybe create work for you or maybe take your project on. They might, but they're busy people. And if there's no money on the table, if there's no named cast around, they've got other shit going on where they're looking for money or named cast. So if you're not bringing something to the table, and you can always say, yeah, but my project is the best, I am the best, sure. But as we both know, it doesn't mean it will be. It might be, but hey, they're not willing to take that chance on 20 other who are all saying the same thing at the same time. They have to go where the money is, and you have to survive. Talk us through Protecting Tony, because that's the name of the short that again went on to do ridiculously well. Really great. How did you plan it? Like you say, you'd not really done this before, but you had been in the acting game a long time, and you had been around people who were making stuff, and you come from a family of performers as well. But how did you go, okay, well, right, we're going to make our own short. I want to get back in the game. Was it about 10 years that you were away? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so how did you go about it? Because you're not talking to any other filmmakers at the moment. You're not talking to composers or editors or DPs or first ACs. How did you piece it together?
Well, there was an outfit in New York called the Actors Green Room. And my buddy Eric had, taken some classes there. And he's like, this is a great way to network and meet people. And so Jen Rudolph is the owner of that place. And she had a part. She was a casting director previously. And she had a partner whose name escapes me at the moment. But anyway, he was sort of giving actors sort of career advice. So that's what I did. I got together, I kind of did some research, and I said, okay, what could I do to sort of jumpstart my career? And so I did this hour session with him, basically career counseling for actors and entertainment people. Okay. And he was like, well, hey, man, get yourself some headshots, get some new headshots, get a reel together. Right. So I found this outfit that was doing actor reels. And I put together a few little scenes that they wrote and produced for me. And I liked their work. And I kind of got together with them and said, hey, man, would you be interested in helping me do a short rather than just little vignettes, little 5-minute things? How about we do a short? And so I met with the team and I said, this is what I want to do. This is sort of the outline. And we all got together and they shot it. And that was it. I don't know if the company is still around. Okay. I think they were called Reels something.
And it just did. I love that. Because sometimes it is about you taking those risks and going, oh, sod it, I need a reel. Like you say, I need a reel. But then what that did was then it made you go, actually, I'm pretty good at the producing side. I'm pretty good at this side. What was it about the producing that you felt that you were good at, that you liked and you wanted to do more of?
I had an intuition, and most of what I do is based on my intuition. And so I had this intuition that this was the right move at that particular time. I had never worked with my friend Eric all these years, and I figured this would be a great opportunity for both of us. And, just putting it all together was just a blast, flying him to LA, finding him a place to stay and, getting everyone together to do, writing sessions. And, it just the whole process was a blast. And I said, man, I got to do more of this.
Yeah.
Once I saw that project was successful, I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe lightning can strike twice and 3 times. So I kept wanting to do it. And that was really, I mean, it's basically that simple. There was nothing specific that I could pinpoint. It was just the overall process that just got me stoked and wanting to keep doing it.
So how did you keep doing it? Because that's the thing. People go, oh, cool, I love doing that short, I love doing that promo, or whatever it was. But it's the case of then, how do you keep doing it? Because it's one thing making something like, say, where you've raised a bit of cash yourselves, but then it's how, like, say, now, obviously winning so many awards for your short really helped, but I imagine that took time. That took maybe over a year or whatever. So
sure,
it's just for our listeners, we love to know those important details of what did you do? How did you approach it?
For me, it was all about social networking. Facebook has actually been the key to my success.
How interesting.
See, it's important. Most people get hung up in the, how do I get started? What's the best move forward that's going to give me the most bang for my buck kind of thing.
Yep.
And what I would say is just start. Just do anything. Start taking steps forward, because as you move, the universe goes, hey, I think he wants to do this. And suddenly people will start to gravitate toward you that are kind of at the same level that you're at. And, it's like birds of a feather, man. They do flock together, and you sort of put out that energy and you start to attract the same sort of like-minded people that are wanting to do the same thing. So what I did was I just started building a network of people through Facebook that were friend requesting me. And of course, every time I get a friend request, I check them out. I go on IMDb and I'm like, okay, what's this guy doing? And so this guy, Carrie Anderson, was one of those examples. He reached out to me, friend requested me. I was like, cool. I checked him out. I looked at his resume and I'm like, oh, this guy's interesting. We're basically swimming around doing the same sort of thing. And he had a contact with a woman by the name of Ann Clements, who's a producer, and he's really good at finding people to invest in films. That's what he does. And so we sort of became friends, and he's like, hey dude, I know you're working on The Mob Kid, which is my current project. He said, but I got this great project, Trial of Chicago 7, DreamWorks is behind it, Steven Spielberg, Aaron Sorkin is writing and directing, and through all these, obviously Sacha Baron Cohen. So that's all I needed to hear.
Indeed. Yeah.
He's like, look, I know you're busy with your thing, but you might want to take a look at this. And I was like, at first I was like, no, I want, because everybody gets so locked into wanting to do their project, and you don't want to hear it. It's like, I want to get my thing done, man. I don't want to hear about anybody. But he said, look, just get on the phone with the producer and, just have a conversation. I was like, okay. And then I sort of had to take my creative hat off and put my producer hat on. And I was like, okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of Shark Tank or if you guys have your version of Shark Tank.
We do have our own version here.
Right. So we have Shark Tank here. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if I was about to pitch, my 2 projects to the Sharks, what would they want to invest in? A first-time writer that they kind of never heard of, or would they want to roll the dice on a Steven Spielberg project? Right. And so once I started to see it in terms of what's the best move forward, I said, you know what? I basically begged my wife. I said, honey, love of my life,
darling,
love you so much. We have to do this. We have to invest in this film. I think this is going to be the key. And of course, having read the script and getting the background on the story, I realized that history repeats itself. A lot of what's going on currently has roots back in the 60s. From racial inequality to the gay rights movement, which is now the LGBTQ movement, to women's rights. I mean, it all ties back to that era. And, a lot of these issues are reemerging. And I'm like, what a great time to tell this story. And this story needs to be told. And every intuition, every instinct in my body was like, I don't care if I have to sell my house. I don't have to care what I have to do. I am going to take everything I've got and put it on red at the roulette wheel.
Wow.
Because I believed in it that much.
That's incredible.
When I tell you I had to beg my wife,
I'm
not kidding. I'm talking like hands and knees, begging her with prayer hands. I'm like, Gail, I promise you, this is going to be successful. I don't know how. I can't prove it to you.
You can't.
It will.
Shit.
And then the pandemic hit. And she's like, oh, we're going to make money on it, huh? Mm-hmm. Look at it. Nobody's going to the movies anymore. And I said, have faith. And then, of course, Netflix came in and they swooped in and everybody made their money. And of course, it was nominated for, 6 Academy Awards and blah, blah, blah. So that was a nice little jump start there.
I mean, what an incredible jump start, but also fair play to Gail for, allowing you to do this, because it's true, you're a team when you're a family like that. And it's frightening to put your hard-earned cash into something, especially a film. And okay, it is Aaron Sorkin and it is Sacha Baron Cohen and many, many other amazing people involved. But still, it's a huge risk. What did they present to you? It's really interesting for us to know, because we're doing that from the other side. We're always presenting decks or information memorandums, they're called here, about how the film will make money. What did you get? What did they send to you as the exec on it?
I don't want to go against any NDAs or anything like that, but
sure,
I will give you a little brief kind of thing. So we invested through Cross Creek Pictures, and they were looking for equity financing, which is quite common with films. They sent us the pitch deck, which included the script and, all of the talent that was attached, this sort of waterfall, they call it, of, investors at this range get paid first and investors at that range get paid second, and so on and so forth. They call it a waterfall. Once I read the synopsis and figured out what the script was about, knowing how brilliant Aaron Sorkin is, I said, man, this is a no-brainer. And I felt the social relevance of the film in every fiber of my being. So yeah, for me, this is something. And of course, the universe gave me clues. Like, we were at my stepdaughter's house in Texas, and I was on my way to the gym, and there was this apartment complex called Cross Creek Apartments. And they had a sign that said vacancy available. And I looked up at, the sky and went, okay, God, all right, I get it. I get it.
You turned to Gail, look.
It was like, I was just, it's weird, but I really am sort of, clued into universal sort of clues. It's all instinct. It's all intuition. That's how I roll. And so far I've been successful at it. So
yeah,
I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to thank God it's there.
Absolutely. Had you already done John Leguizamo's Road to Broadway before that? Okay, so you already knew the sort of landscape. It wasn't like the first thing you'd invested in, if you like. So you'd already been involved with John Leguizamo's documentary. Right. Okay, cool. How do you find the difference between execing and producing when you're just coming on as exec, and then when you're also producing? What do you prefer, and what do you feel is the difference for you?
Technically, the difference is the executive producer is the one that comes in either with the financing themselves, or they find other people's money. And that's kind of how that, and that's fun. It's like, once I get a project and I really believe in it, like The Trial of the Chicago 7, like As They Made Us, like John Leguizamo's behind the scenes documentary. If something about the project just hits me in a certain way where I feel like this is something that this is a story that needs to be told. This is something that is going to raise the consciousness of society, which I believe that filmmaking is all about, at least for me, to raise people's empathy and things like that. So it's like, once I get behind something, I put my all into it. And that really does help me sell it when I'm trying to pitch to get other people's money, for example, or so I find that rewarding, being able to play a part in supporting that film and getting it made. But the producing, I admit I have less experience in the producing area, the day-to-day sort of producing.
Nuts and bolts side of stuff, sure.
I'm using my executive producer status to learn more about on-set producing, which is what I plan on doing with my own film, The Mob Kid. All of these prior successes, as I always say, it's like setting the table for your next thing to happen. And so all of this has really led me to getting my own project done, hopefully. And I think I will. No,
it feels like you will. You seem like the kind of guy, who's very driven and very believes in the stuff that he's putting his time and effort into it, yours. And sure, why, I'm all for you. I'm like, yeah. The Mob Kid sounds great. And yeah, brilliant. I don't see why you won't make that happen. I really believe in you. You can tell by the way you speak. What kind of tips did you find work when pitching to fellow investors or potential investors when you were going out there? What did you feel worked and what didn't, maybe, when pitching to investors?
Well, so far I haven't had any experience with it not working. So
exactly, right?
Which is great. It's a great problem to have. And I hope I never know what that's like.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, what works is just being passionate about whatever it is. Passion is the key. It's really believing in something so much that you're willing to move mountains, to make it happen. And there's no giving up. I mean, look, I'm 50. I'll be 59 in about 10 days or so, 11 days to be exact.
Wow, you don't look it, sir. You do not look it.
Thanks. Yeah. I appreciate it. And, but I've been knocking around this business for a long time, and but I never gave up. And that's the thing. It's like, the day that you give up, it's over. And then there's no debating it. It's over and it's time to do something else. But if you never give up and you believe in yourself and you're passionate about, everything that you do and you stick with it. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of down times. I mean, it's a roller coaster, setbacks and one step forward, two steps back kind of a thing. That's just part of life. I don't think we can escape that no matter what business we're in. But if you really love what you do and you believe in the projects and you believe in yourself and your abilities, and you just keep hacking away at it until success comes. And it's funny, it wasn't until I got married and started experiencing family life that, I don't know, something about that just sort of broadened my horizons. Whereas before I was very narrow-minded, narrowly focused. Being married and having a family and experiencing what it's like to be a dad, even though I don't have any biological kids of my own. Just that experience, it broadened my scope and gave me, a sort of better perspective on things. And that's been the key to my success. Once I got back in the business and saw myself from a wider sort of perspective, and I widened that perspective, that's when the success finally started to happen.
I love it. Well, let's talk about As They Made Us then. How did it come to you? Did Maim contact you? How did it fall into your lap? Talk us through the whole process.
Same way the Chicago 7 did.
Right.
Carrie Anderson said, hey man, Ann Clements is producing this wonderful film. Dustin Hoffman is starring in it. And
that's already a bonus, isn't it?
Right. I mean, all I had to hear was Dustin Hoffman. And then, Mayim Bialik is the writer-director, and Simon Helberg and Candice Bergen, of course, legendary Candice Bergen, Diana Agron. So, and it's a story about, family dysfunction, which is something I have unfortunately intimate knowledge of. But, what's great about this film is I think that it has universal appeal, all backgrounds, all life, people from all over the world, can relate to this story in some way or another. And also it's a film that lets like, hey, you're not alone, that we all go through the trials and tribulations of dysfunction and family dynamics. And there is another side. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You know, you can still be happy in your adult life, and, you know, you can heal from it.
Yes.
And so I'm like, hey, man, you know, here's another film that just speaks to my sensibilities. And, you know, it's all about raising consciousness. It's all about creating empathy and having this communal experience through film.
As They Made Us, it's about a divorced mum as she tries to make peace with a dysfunctional family, and she finds a second chance at love.
Okay, final hugs for Dad. Hugs.
Oh, look at that. It's your mom. Nope.
God, relentless.
Okay, bye. Good luck with that.
Mom.
Wait till you hear this one. Dad fell again. He's on the floor and can't get up.
What?
Well, he's comfortable.
Trying to sit down and I missed it. Abby, my Abby. You know me better than anybody. You always have. You know me better than your mother.
Call the caregiver agency. I gotta fire another one.
Oh, no, Mom. What did he do?
He was giving your father marijuana in the form of cute little bears.
Mom, he was one of the good ones.
Morning.
Hi, come on in.
Hello, Muscle.
Hello yourself. I'm Jade, the landscaper.
I've got some landscaping. I could use some help.
Oh my God, I want to die.
How's work?
It's fine. Hey, boss lady. This is Abigail. My dad's dying, and my mom.
His chiropractor thinks maybe meditation would help.
Have you told your brother about me?
Huge. He doesn't give a...
Ma.
I think we should say hello.
Have you put on a little weight?
You should have heard what she was saying, man.
You have to get yourself out of there.
Hey, what's up?
I wanted to talk to you about Dad.
Oh,
I don't know, it might be the last.
yeah, no, I get it. So your life is just always like this. Emotions, intensity, you having to fix everything.
Yeah, it's all I know. Ma really shouldn't be leaving you.
No, don't be hard on her. She's doing a terrific job, Abby.
Do you ever tell her that?
I couldn't tell her that.
You just did.
As They Made Us is out now, by the way, on all digital platforms. You can find it. Links to that will be in the show notes. Do watch it. Do. It's brilliant. Let's dive into it a little bit more about dysfunctional family, because there's so many filmmakers out there, people in the arts, people in that world do come from dysfunctional families. It just seems to be we're drawn to make believe and coming up with characters and ideas as if we don't want to be ourselves a bit. And then, like you say, sometimes you kind of have to find yourself when you're producing. You go, actually, no, I need to, because I can't hide behind a character, you know. And you mentioned it earlier, and I thought it was really interesting about you you came back to this and opened your eyes, and you've got this new lease of yourself now. Did you find going through your journey really did make a difference to where you are now in terms of exec producing movies, making your own movie, you know, and really feeling you're in a strong place with who you are? And that takes time, right?
Oh my God, yes. If I had it to do all over again, and I know this sounds cliche, but I really would not change a thing. I believe that life challenges us for a reason. It's all designed to make us better people. And some people become better people. Some people don't.
Yeah.
But for me, that's how I look at it. You know, I don't regret anything that I've been, and I've been through some painful, very painful moments in my life that are just indescribable. But finding a way to rise above it and using one's creativity as an asset is the ticket. And that's why I got into acting, because it allowed me to express myself in a way that I couldn't, you know, growing up as a child. It was always like children are to be seen and not heard kind of a thing.
Right.
And so that gave me my voice, so to speak. But it's been a long journey. You know, you have to deal with all these hangups of you know, am I good enough? Insecurities, which I still have. I still have those demons that I fight on a daily basis. But I've learned to also develop this intuitive voice, which kind of says to me, hey, man, you know, get out of your head. Don't stay in that space. It's very easy for me to get there into that negative space. And there's that little voice that says, hey, man, you're not the only one that's messed up in this world, man. It's like everybody's got their demons. Everybody's going through something. And if they could find a way to make it in this life, so can you. So just keep going and keep going. And, even when you want to put a pillow over your head and sleep all day, get up, make those phone calls, do whatever you have to do to kick that can down the road, and eventually you're going to get there.
Yeah. What is it you do when you feel overwhelmed or lose focus, or have done in your journey? What do you think, looking back now or even now, that you go, okay, that helps me gain focus again? Is it spending time with the family? Is it writing? Is it going off somewhere, thinking about something else? It'd be really interesting to know.
It's really all of the above. I walk about an hour and a half a day.
Wow. To
sort of get my exercise. Since COVID hit, going to the gym is out of the question right now, at least for me. So, I'll go on a long hour and a half walk, and I do my best thinking that way. Spending time with family. I was unable to be with my elderly mom when she discovered she had breast cancer a few years back. And I would not get on a plane. I did not want to make her sick, so not being able to see my mom for a few years broke my heart, man, But thank God she beat it. That's helped tremendously. Just feeling blessed that I get to be with her again.
And that's it, isn't it? It is feeling that feeling of, look, we're kind of lucky to be here. There's so much crap going on in the world. The fact that we can do something that we love, making films, the fact that we can come up with ideas and it turns into something that goes on screen, or we can help by investing in something or whatever it is huge and brilliant, and it's amazing that success you've had. Would you say that your situation in your life generally, and I think all the experiences you've had in your life, helped you write The Mob Kid, because you have written it, right? Tell us a bit about that.
Without a doubt. I had a very sort of interesting childhood. My mom and dad divorced when I was 3, and she was a go-go dancer back in the 50s and 60s. And that's how she met my stepfather, Frank Vestry, who was a lounge singer and had an amazing voice. He had recorded an album, I think, with about 12 songs on it. And he used to give them out as handouts wherever he entertained. And when he passed away 3 days after my 10th birthday, that was all I had left of him. And, the record never was available for release or anything like that. It was just a handout kind of a thing. But being around Frank for those few years that I was lucky enough to have him in my life, it was colorful. I mean, he was repped by, some wise guys, So that's, guys. It's like that got me all like, I was like, wow, I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't know
how much you can say.
It was a colorful upbringing.
Right.
And I was exposed to a lot of these people. And so that sort of kind of got me inspired to write the script fast forward, I'm doing extra work on Goodfellas.
Wow.
And I'm in the Copacabana scene.
Right. Amazing.
But amazing. way off. If you look at the movie, you'll never find me.
But you're there and we know you're there now. Amazing.
And Scorsese's the type of director that even if you're not facing the lens of the camera, he still wants to fill up the entire room just in case he decides to, turn the camera that way. I basically sat in the corner somewhere at a table, and that was it. I don't think the camera was on me once.
But you got to watch, right? I mean,
that's right. That's not why I was there. Yeah. I was there to see my idol in action. And so Jerry Vale comes out on stage and he's lip syncing this song that wound up in the movie. And I remember my stepfather, Frank, telling me that he knew him. So I said, man, maybe I could talk to him, to Jerry, and then catch Scorsese's eye. And then maybe I could tell Scorsese, hey, man, why don't you put a few of my dad's songs in the movie?
Sure.
And I chickened out. I didn't want to get kicked off set.
No, definitely not.
I'm like, well, but that idea stayed with me because, the thing about it is, it's one thing to lose a parent at that young age, but to lose someone who had such an incredible voice, such an amazing talent, to know that no one on this planet is ever going to hear that voice ever again. And so my mission in life was basically like, how can I get his music out there? And so I came up with this idea for a mafia comedy. Okay. A Soul Switch sort of Freaky Friday meets The Sopranos.
I love it. Okay.
And I said, hey, man, if I make this movie, I could put his music on the soundtrack and everybody that watches this movie is going to hear his voice.
It's there forever.
So, yeah, that's, you talk about inspiration. It's the pain. It's the triumph. It's all of it. All of life experiences that sort of help one's creative voice when doing anything, whether it's writing, acting.
Totally. How did you find the writing side of it then? Because, as much as you've done the shorts and bits and pieces, to write a feature is difficult. It's not easy.
That's like the understatement of the century, man.
My listeners know, they understand. They're like, yeah, that's understated. So how did you put notes up? Did you sketch? How did you write the thing? Because that's always difficult.
Okay, so here we go.
Right.
I have never written anything in my entire life up until The Mob Kid. I didn't even know how to use the software, to the screenwriting software.
Final Draft, sure.
Final Draft, right. And I started to read this book, Making a Good Script Great.
It's right in front of me here. It's underneath my mic, literally balancing up my mic. There it is. There
you go.
Make a Good Script Great by Linda Seeger.
I got to about page maybe 10.
Yeah,
and I just went, all right. I'm just going to start writing this dang thing.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea what I was doing, but I felt that the premise of the story was so good that it could basically write itself. And some stories are like that. If you come up with a good premise, it's like, okay, so you've got this geeky, nerdy kid that gets bullied and picked on. He's always coming home with a Band-Aid on his face, a black eye, a bloody nose. And then you've got this rough and tumble, tough guy, sort of wise guy who is the exact opposite. And then they have to switch. And now you get to see this little kid be a gangster.
Right.
And you see the gangster being this timid little kid. And what would life be like if you put these people? And so all I started to think about was, how could I have fun with these characters? What situations can I put them in that would be hilarious, that people would get a kick out of? And that's sort of how I started to write the story. And then, of course, you've got to get into like structure and how everything gets put together. And so that was about 10 drafts worth of rewriting and coverage and, notes. But somehow in 15 years, and I'm still rewriting it. We have a director that's interested who shall remain nameless at this point, but he's done some stuff that people would be very familiar with. And he's already given me 16 pages of notes. But luckily, what's great about it is, he really gets the story. So many people haven't been able to sort of get the story for some reason. But I read some of his notes. As a matter of fact, every single page of his notes was like pearls.
Right.
And what was funny is the first draft of the script had just about 90% of his notes already in it. But, when you get coverage, everybody's like, well, a comedy can't be 120 pages long. It's got to be 95 pages long. And so you need to take this out and take that out. And, that's not necessary. That's not. And all of the things that everybody told me wasn't necessary, he's telling me to put it back in, which is great.
Great.
I have J. Todd Harris, who was a co-exec producer on Trial.
Right.
of Chicago 7, producing the film for me, with me.
Yeah, I watched Big the other day, the Tom Hanks movie, and I hadn't watched it since I was a kid, and I loved it. It was like, obviously the so much is out of date, and it's really weird that he's kind of in love with a girl who's way older than him, and she is as well. But if you take that out of it, there was so much that was amazing in that movie. And films like Freaky Friday, or the new one was Freaky that just came out as well. I love those films. 17 going on, whatever it was, 13 going on 30, just 17 or 17 something with Zac Efron. They're all
17 again.
17 maybe? Again, that was it. They're all so good. I love those movies. So the fact that you've got one and the concept sounds incredible, I'm like, I think there's got legs, and I can see why people would be interested. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, good luck. I really hope it goes well. Hopefully you'll get you back on in a year or two when you've made it, and we can come talk exactly about that.
I would love to.
Yes, let's do it. Finally then, what advice would you give for some hardworking filmmakers out there who are looking to either get their break or make their fourth film?
My advice is really just don't give up. I mean, just keep going, keep going, and have faith that it will happen. It takes time.
Yeah.
You know, for some people, it happens overnight, you know, and that's just the luck of the draw. Yep. You know, you could go to Vegas and put it all on red and win, or you could go to Vegas and not win your whole life, and then all of a sudden you win. So, you know, you have to get out of this mindset. You know, if you're going to get into this business, you have to realize that if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Everybody wants to do it. In order for you to stick out and stand out, you know, it takes more than talent. It takes drive. It takes believing in yourself. Sometimes it's just as boring as getting on a phone call or doing a seminar or whatever it is. Just put yourself out there, meet as many people, take phone numbers, introduce yourself, get business cards, to start developing a network of people, because it's such a small industry. You never know who you're going to meet today that's going to help you tomorrow. And maybe they're not in a place to help you today, but they'll be in a place to help you tomorrow. And that's how I've done it. Clay Epstein was the sales agent on As They Made Us. My relationship on that movie got him to be the sales agent on The Mob Kid.
There you go.
Right. J. Todd Harris, co-executive producer on Trial of Chicago 7, is now producing my film. So, you know, you just keep putting yourself out there, keep meeting as many people as you can meet. Don't ever, ever, ever give up, because if you do, then it's definitely over.
Brilliant advice. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute joy chatting to you. Thank you, Jonathan. I actually really enjoyed this. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Giles. Really appreciate it.
Remember, the film As They Made Us is out now. Do go watch it. Do go support. Link to that will be in the show notes. You can go make your indie film. You can go make your big studio film. Make it happen. Believe in yourself. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, as Jonathan has done, it is your duty. Send the elevator back down. We will see you next Tuesday. As always, thank you so much for listening. Honestly, I appreciate it so much. And thank you for joining us. Jonathan, really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Giles. It's been a pleasure. Take good care.
Absolute pleasure. Take care, everyone. See you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.